welcome to our JobNimbus 101 workshop today. We're so happy to have you with us. Today, we're going to be talking about one of the less known, less used, but very powerful parts of the JobNimbus document creator, template questions. My name's Logan.
And I'm Dan. And I want you to think about all the times that you create a document. Every single time you create a document template and then you have to go into a contact and create that document. How many times do you go into that document creation and think, I need to add some customizable data here, data that I don't have in contact fields or even job fields? That's where template questions come in. Template questions is a great way to create a guide of questions that as you're creating the document, you go through and answer each question, and the answers show up in the document exactly where you put that field. Template questions are easy to learn and easy to use, and they make your documents look professional. So let's show you how.
Now, like anything that you're going to add inside JobNimbus, the first thing you have to do is you have to come into your settings. So come up to your initials or picture on the upper right-hand side and choose settings from the drop-down menu. Once you're inside, you're going to click on features, and you're going to find the area that says template questions. Now, as the name suggests, this is actually the thing that you need to enable to turn on template questions. If we enable it, we're going to get a new field on the left-hand side called template questions. Like you might guess, if we click on template questions, it's going to bring us into the template questions area. The next thing we need to do is we need to add a template questions list. So I'm going to click on this blue button over here, and we're going to name this something appropriate. Or inappropriate if you choose. However, we're not going to do that for this webinar because it's going on YouTube. And we're just going to call it webinar. Then we're going to add the template question list. You'll see it was added right here at the bottom. So let's go in, click the three dots on the far right, and let's add in a question by clicking Manage Questions. We'll click the Add a Question button, and then it's going to ask us, what question do we want? Now, I recommend that you actually put this in the form of a question. For example, if I wanted to know how large a building is, I might say square feet, and that would be okay. It might help to put in a full question like, what is the square footage of the roof? Then I can choose what type. Now, obviously, square footage is not a date. It could be a decimal or a whole number. The difference between a decimal and a whole number, of course, is the decimal point, which allows us to put in the 0.14 at the end right there. We could also choose text, which allows us to put in full sentences or alphanumeric information, or we could choose a Boolean, which will appear as yes or no. So I might say, do they have a pet? And that would be a Boolean, yes or no. We're going to go ahead and save this as a whole number, and you'll see it added to our question list. We can choose whether it's visible, which means it can be chosen when we're creating documents. And we can come here and edit, which is editing the question itself, or we can delete it. The other options we have to control our template questions list are to rename, hide, which means it couldn't be added to new documents, but it would still exist for old documents, or delete it altogether, which would remove it and its fields from all the documents that we've created, which might break some of your things. So generally, we suggest hide instead of delete if you've used this in any of your documents.
Now that we understand how to create a template question list, which houses your questions, let's show it in action in adding it to a template. So let's go up here to templates. Now, you cannot add template questions to any other template type than document templates, because you're going to be answering these questions as you're creating the document. And you cannot do that in an email or even a financial document. So let's go up here to add a new document, and we can find our template questions under template fields because they're basically a field. When we look at here, we'll see that all of our lists start with form. So we have form : questions, form : standard contract, and all these others. Even our webinar is right there. But let's go ahead and look at these standard contract questions. As you see, there are 5 questions here. These are all the different types of questions that we can answer. When adding a template question to your document template, you want to first think about how you want the answer shown in your document. such as when we look at needs financing, this is a Boolean. It's going to show yes or no. So when we add this in, we'll want to ask a question on here like, does the client need financing? We can then insert the form right here. And that will show, does the client need financing? Yes or no. Another use case would be the square footage is, what is the square footage? Square feet. Now, as you're seeing, these don't really show the template question. It just shows a form and a number, but that's okay. You'll see what it looks like later. We can also show the agreed upon contract amount. Now, this will just show a decimal. If I want this to show as a currency, I will need to add a $sign at the beginning. That right there is just a few ways that you can add in your template questions to your document template. Like I said, you'll want to think about how you want the answers shown in your contract or in your document template as you're adding these template questions in. Now that we've shown how to add template questions in, let's show how they look when you create your document.
Let's head into one of our favorite customers, Felix Leiter. Here's Felix Leiter. And we're going to use an already created document template. So let's go ahead and click Create Document here, or if we don't have any documents on the client, we can come up here and choose Create Document. The next thing we need to do is choose a design template. We'll choose the contract template questions, and here we are. You'll see that right now the template looks like a mess of curly cues and indistinguishable fields, but up above, we have our 5 questions. So we can say, does the customer need financing? Yes, they do. For the date of construction, I can either click on the calendar here to choose a recent date, but since the date of construction could be quite a long time ago, I'm actually going to enter it manually. I'm going to enter the contract amount as a decimal number. Description of property, it is a house, it is brown. I could literally put anything I want here. And what is the square footage? 1,500. Once I've answered all the questions to my satisfaction, I can scroll down to the bottom and choose Create Document. Now we'll see that the document itself looks a lot better than the template did. Information like the customer name and address was filled in automatically by the fields native to JobNimbus, and the questions that we answered are automatically filled in on the fields that we chose. Now this is a fairly basic template, and you can certainly make something that looks a lot nicer and integrates your fields in a more pleasing manner, but I hope this was enough to give you the basics. Template questions allow you to make excellent documents that can be filled out in the field by your sales rep in a uniform way and come back with all the information you need every time, looking just the way you want it to.
We thank everybody for coming today and joining in on our webinar to learn more about template questions. If you want to learn more, go ahead and visit our knowledge base at support.jobnimbus.com, and you can read our articles that are specifically about template questions. If you ever get stuck trying to create template questions or with anything else in JobNimbus, you can call us at the phone number right there and get a hold of a support rep who will help you right away. Thank you for joining us. Bye.